What if the person you present to the world is only half the truth? What if beneath your polite smile, your carefully chosen words, and your good intentions, there lives someone else? Someone angry, someone afraid, someone you've spent your entire life pretending doesn't exist. The ancient Greeks spoke of knowing thyself as the highest wisdom. But how well can you know yourself if half of you is hidden in the dark? Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the part of us we bury, deny, or reject. Not because it's evil, but because the world told us it was unacceptable. And here's the terrifying part. The more you ignore it, the more it controls you. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the true nature of your shadow self, you'll also discover how confronting it might be the key to personal freedom. Let's begin. The shadow self isn't some mystical force or supernatural concept. It's deeply human, deeply psychological, deeply personal. It's made of everything you were told not to be. Were you told not to cry? Your sadness went into the shadow. Were you told not to brag? Your confidence was buried too. Taught that anger was ugly, that ambition was selfish, that fear was weakness. All of it sent to the dark. You crafted a version of yourself to survive, to be liked, to be accepted. And in doing so, you left parts of you behind. But here's the truth. What is suppressed doesn't die. It waits. In Jung's words, what you resist not only persists, it grows stronger. From the moment you were born, you were shaped, not just by your experiences, but by what those around you allowed. You were molded by reward and punishment, by praise and shame. A child who's punished for being loud learns to stay quiet. One who's mocked for crying learns to stay numb. And one who's scolded for wanting too much learns to expect nothing. Piece by piece, you trim away parts of yourself to fit into the world. And what's trimmed becomes the shadow. This shadow isn't evil. It's not wrong. It's simply you, unlived, unexpressed, forgotten. But it doesn't stay forgotten. It whispers through your triggers. It erupts in your arguments. It sabotages your dreams, not out of malice, but because it hasn't been seen. Think of a time when you overreacted to something small. Maybe someone interrupted you, and you exploded with frustration. Or you saw someone succeed and felt an unexplainable resentment. That wasn't logic. That wasn't you being dramatic. That was your shadow reacting. Let's talk about 3 powerful ways the shadow influences your life. You spot in others what you refuse to see in yourself. You call someone arrogant, but deep down, you long to speak confidently. You judge someone for being lazy, but secretly wish you could rest without guilt. What we hate in others often mirrors what we hide in ourselves. Ever said, "That's not like me. I don't know why I did that"? Your shadow knows why. It holds the emotions you haven't processed, fear, envy, rage, and when triggered, it takes over. You get a promotion and suddenly feel like a fraud. You start a new relationship and push the person away. The shadow whispers, "You don't deserve this." So without even knowing it, you destroy the very things you wanted. The worst part, most people never realize it's happening. Let me tell you a story. Ethan was the guy everyone liked. Quiet, responsible, kind, never complained, never raised his voice. At work, he stayed late. At home, he made no demands. He wore the mask of the good man and wore it well. But inside, he was exhausted, resentful, angry. Years of swallowing his needs, hiding his opinions, and avoiding conflict had built a volcano beneath his smile. One morning in a meeting, his manager made a joke about Ethan always playing it safe. Everyone laughed, and something in Ethan snapped. He slammed his pen on the table. "You all think I'm just quiet because I'm weak, but I'm the one who fixes your mess. I'm the one who stays late while you go home early." The room froze. Ethan's hands were trembling. He felt exposed, vulnerable, but also free. It wasn't just about the meeting. It was about years of being overlooked, dismissed, minimized. That night, Ethan sat in his car, stunned. Where did that come from? He asked himself. And then he realized it had always been there. He had just never listened. That was the day Ethan met his shadow. Facing your shadow isn't about unleashing it on the world. It's not about yelling at your boss or indulging every impulse. It's about integration. Jung believed that true growth happens when we stop pretending to be perfect and instead become whole. Here's how you begin. Notice what bothers you in others. Ask, what does this say about me? What part of myself have I buried that's reacting to this? Every day, write without filters. Ask, what do I feel that I don't want to feel? What do I judge in others that might live in me? Let your darkness speak. You'll be surprised at what it says. You're not broken for having a shadow. You're human. The shadow is not your enemy. It's your teacher. And every time you face it, you reclaim a part of yourself. So here's the truth. The shadow self is not a monster in the basement. It is the part of you that was silenced, not because it was wrong, but because the world was uncomfortable with it. But you are not here to be comfortable. You are here to be whole. When you make peace with your shadow, something extraordinary happens. You stop reacting and start choosing. You stop hiding and start becoming. The ancient philosophers said, the unexamined life is not worth living. Jung would add, and the unloved self will keep you from ever truly living it. So ask yourself not just who you are, but what parts of you have been waiting to return. If this resonated with you and you're ready to begin your journey of self-discovery, consider subscribing. Because this channel isn't just about philosophy, it's about transformation. Let's explore the deepest parts of what it means to be human, together.